So I am officially on my fifth day of the pre-op diet, and it is rough, let me tell you. I didn't realize how rough the pre-op diet was gonna be. You know, I knew exactly what I had to do for it, but until you actually literally portion out, you know, what you're directed to be able to eat, you realize how little it is. Anyway, that's like, at least I can eat food. Yes, that's very helpful. It's not just protein shakes for 2 weeks, but even that, like, it's just so little. It's a lot. It doesn't sound that little until you're like sitting there eating it. So one thing I would definitely suggest for anyone who's getting ready for the pre-op diet, just so that you can prepare yourself mentally, because I don't think I was quite prepared mentally for how little it is. In all honesty, I'm not sitting here with a growling stomach or hungry. It's definitely head hunger. But now that I'm at day 5, you know, I'm no longer having caffeinated beverages. I'm just drinking decaf coffee in the morning, and I'm probably going to drink it all the way up until the day before surgery. We're not really supposed to have coffee, or at least my team says no coffee for like 6 months or something like that, 6 months to a year. They actually would like you to have no coffee forever, but that's not realistic. It's not going to happen. So yeah, it's the best I can do is the no coffee for 6 months, but up to the surgery, I'm going to do decaf. So in the morning, I'm doing like decaf coffee with the protein shake inside as like creamer and sweetener kind of thing. So it just tastes like coffee. And that's good, but like, my body has relied on that little bit of burst of energy, you know, dealing with, you know, chronic illness and chronic fatigue as part of fibromyalgia and rheumatoid arthritis. My body relied on that boost of energy in the morning, and I haven't had it in a few weeks now. So with the low calories, in addition to the lack of caffeine, I'm just so tired, and it's almost like a depressing tired. So I'm trying to pull myself out of it. Like, my excitement for this surgery has been astronomical, just absolutely excited. I've wanted this for so long. But once I started the pre-op diet, my excitement dwindled. I still want the surgery 1000%. It has nothing to do with me not wanting the surgery. I just can't be all that excited when I'm eating so little, I guess. And which it's a hard thing to admit, but like, obviously I have a lot of emotion tied to food. And I'm one of those people that usually when I'm sick, or for some reason I can't eat, I'm totally fine with that. If my stomach is upset, or I'm just not feeling well or whatever, and I can't eat for a long period of time, there's no emotional response or emotional connection to not being able to eat. But when I'm just not allowed to eat, I guess there's an emotional connection to all of that. So I think that's definitely having an effect on me. So I know that I'm probably going to be one of those people where after surgery, I know a lot of, you know, with a lot of the different videos I've watched and talking to people, you hit like a pretty big low a little bit after surgery where you get depressed. And I kept thinking, you know, before watching it, like, you know, no, that would never happen to me. Like, I'm going to be so happy I'm losing the weight. I'm going to be so happy that I can't eat a lot. And it's going to be wonderful. But feeling this way during the pre-op diet, I'm like, yeah, I'm probably going to go through that. So anyway, I just thought I'd pick up, you know, the phone and record right now really quick and just kind of give an honest moment of like how I'm feeling right now with the pre-op diet. I hadn't found as many videos of people talking about how rough the pre-op diet is. Most people were, maybe they were absolutely okay and this wasn't bothering them at all. But yeah, it's hard, and I just want to be honest about it. This has been the hardest part of the process so far. Is, you know, if it was a week long, if it was only 1 week, I probably could push through it and not bother me as much. Part of what's making it so hard is knowing that it's 2 weeks long, that I have to do this for 2 whole weeks. Yeah, because, you know, I definitely want to be successful at doing this pre-op diet. I know it's very medically necessary for the surgery to be successful, but man, is it hard. Like, I am trying to keep myself so busy, and I'm walking my dog so much. She's exhausted from all the walks. My body is in a lot of pain from all the walks. And my apartment is spick and span, and I'm running out of things to do. I'm almost tempted to buy a sewing machine just so that I could have more to do through this like every day feels like years. So it's, yeah, just wanted to pop in really quick and say that the pre-op diet for me was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. But it's possible. It's just quite the mental struggle. All right, so I am approaching week 2 of my pre-op diet, and these are some of the staples that have been helping me through this process. So I have been like religiously taking Noon tablets for probably like the past year. They really help with muscle cramps and with just hydration issues in general, for like dealing with some side effects to medications that I take, as well as just like the fibromyalgia, muscle pain and cramps and things like that. But this is going to be like something major to get me through pre-op and post-op as well. And since I'm not allowed to drink carbonated beverages anymore, and I was an avid LaCroix drinker, the Noon tablets, the citric acid makes it like a little bit fizzy. So this is like, I have one dissolving right now that I'm about to drink. So it makes it a little bit fizzy, and the taste is actually really good. I get a 6-pack of like multiple different flavors. I switch, there's like a regular 6-pack of the tubes, and then there's like a tropical 6-pack, and each time I order them, I get different ones each time so that I don't get tired of the flavors. And I actually empty out all of the tubes and then fill each tube up with like every single flavor so that I don't get tired of them. So those are going to really help me when I'm going through the post-op hydration as well. And they have magnesium and potassium, and I don't know why they help me so much, but they even give me a boost of energy. And I've heard that from other people too. Like every time I drink it, I get a little bit of a boost of energy. So these are staples. I will never let myself run out of these. These are one of my holy grails. And then the shakes that I'm actually taking now during the pre-op, and I will be using after the surgery as well, are the Soylent Complete Protein shakes. I try to keep with a plant-based diet as much as possible. I'm not like vegan, but I try to keep plant-based. And I wanted to make sure I was using a plant-based protein. So I really enjoy these shakes. These are the best tasting plant-based protein shakes that I've come across. They have a lot of protein, 30 grams, 0 sugars, even though they don't taste like sugar-free products. And that's one of my biggest issues, is I do not like the taste of sugar-free stuff, like extremely. And then I also do have a poor reaction to sugar alcohols. It can cause me to bloat like extremely, like more than anything I experience can bloat me. Sugar alcohols can bloat me bad, but this, I don't have any bad reactions to this. I'm hoping after surgery, I still like it. They make, I think they only have chocolate and vanilla in the complete protein, which is a lower calorie but higher protein version, but after surgery, when you're able to have more calories, they do have another shake that comes in all kinds of amazing flavors: chocolate mint, strawberry, banana, all these other flavors. But those ones have a lot more calories in them, but in less protein. So if you are going to try the Soylent ones, make sure it's complete protein and that it has that little green label that says 30 grams. But those are the shakes that I'm doing 2 a day of. And then I also have bought a case of this protein water. Honestly, it's not very good. The flavor I can withstand the best is this coconut, what is it? I think it's tropical coconut version. It's the flavor I can stand the most. The other two, which is like fruit punch and berry blend or something like that, they just taste like cough medicine. They're not very good, but I'm going to use them, especially after surgery, for protein waters, because, you know, I won't be able to have protein shakes at first, but this is still helpful. It's still helpful, keeps me hydrated, gets the protein in. So yeah, these are what I'm having right now. It is still extremely hard to make it through this process of the pre-op diet. I'm struggling. But you know, I know that the outcome in the end is going to be 100% worth it. So I'm pushing through one more week. I'm, you know, praying and hoping I can stay strong. I know that a lot of people are like, oh, your body will adjust after a certain amount of days to the pre-op diet. No, not mine hasn't. It's been hard. But anyway, thought this might be helpful. Wanted to add this in. Okay, so that clip that you just watched was like 2 weeks into my pre-op diet. So this video, we're going to talk about how the pre-op diet went for me. I am filming this after the surgery, so yeah, just an FYI. So the pre-op diet was really difficult for me. So, I mean, I had all of the information that I needed for the pre-op diet, like exactly how much I was able to eat. I had my, you know, information about the 2 shakes, the 2 ounces of vegetables and the 2 ounces of protein, in addition to snacks being 1 ounce of protein. I could do 2 snacks a day, 1 ounce of protein, and the other one would be 1 ounce of vegetables, or I think you could do both on the diet that I was given. So, I mean, I feel very grateful that I wasn't on like a all liquid 2-week diet, because that would have been 4 weeks on liquid, including the post-op diet. But it was, even though I knew the amount, I guess until you literally see what 2 ounces of protein and 2 ounces of vegetables looks like, you know, the thought of it doesn't sound so bad when you know you're having 2 shakes and you can have those 2 snacks. But I would say for anyone who hasn't had their surgery yet, if their pre-op diet is similar, I would suggest trying that pre-op diet out for a few days, 2 or 3 days before it's even time for your pre-op diet, so that you can see how much food that is and just prepare yourself mentally. Because I think I just wasn't prepared mentally. Also, I wasn't eating meat, so my proteins were tofu and like Beyond Meat or things like that, or soybean, stuff like that. But so it was a little less filling than if it was meat, but my stomach just does not do well digesting meat, and meat also causes additional inflammation in my body with autoimmunity. So I just choose to eat it as little as possible. When I will eat it every once in a while. I'm not complete vegetarian, but it's very rare because it just doesn't agree with my body in so many ways. So anyway, you know, the first day, I think the first day is when I realized, like, this is gonna be hard. You know, having the shake, because like it probably would have been easier for me. It would have been like 3 snacks a day, but obviously that doesn't matter. Like, you have to follow the diet exactly. So if I would have been able to like have a shake, I had a shake in the morning with I put coffee, the shake in my coffee to make protein coffee, decaf coffee, that I was drinking all the way up until the day before surgery, I think, or something like that. And so I would drink the coffee with the protein shake in it, not using any kind of creamer or sweetener, just the protein shake, which was fine. And then I would drink the rest of the protein shake like an hour later. So that was kind of like a snack, but it was just the rest of my protein shake. And then, you know, I would have the second protein shake for lunch. And then I would have, no, I think I would have my snack before lunch, which would be something like string cheese, or an egg, or I would do carrots. You could, from Publix, which is like one of the grocery stores near where I live, you can get the baby carrots separated into little small packages. I know that's a lot of package waste and it's expensive to buy it that way. I needed to make it as easy on myself as possible. And so I would have half of the little mini packets of the Publix carrots, and then some Laughing Cow cheese. So having one triangle of the low-fat Laughing Cow cheese and half of the packet of the carrots was considered as good for a snack. And I did clear this with my nutritionist, my bariatric nutritionist. So that was one of the most satisfying things I was able to eat, was the carrots with the Laughing Cow cheese. The egg itself, eating one boiled egg was helpful, but that gets old really fast as well if that's what you're eating every day for 2 weeks. But that's, you know, so those were what my snack usually was either string cheese or the Laughing Cow cheese with the carrots or the boiled egg. I knew that I bought a lot of prepackaged stuff for this diet to give myself the best chance. I emptied my pantry and my refrigerator and freezer of anything that I wouldn't be allowed to eat during the pre-op diet or the post-op diet for the first few weeks, just to set myself up for success. So between family, friends, and neighbors, I gave away any other food in my house that I shouldn't be eating, which was one of the wisest things I ever did, because, you know, after that first week, I was desperate and I would have done some pretty dumb things. So yeah, it was hard. It was hard. For some people, this isn't that hard of a diet. I guess the excitement of knowing the surgery is coming. I felt like that the last few days of it, but like that first week and a half it did not get easier after the week. It just got harder. But it was very hard to do. So I had to be careful what I watched on TV, what I watched on social media, and make sure there was no food involved, because I mean, this is how it got me here, you know, like overeating, binge eating, whatever it was that I was doing, and watching, you know, TV shows or YouTube or whatever, where people are eating wonderful, delicious food. It makes me want to enjoy food with them at the same time, you know? And so I had to just be so careful what I watched, like just scrolling past anything that was food related, fast forwarding through food scenes in movies or TV shows that I was watching, because when you're eating so little, everything looks good, everything sounds good. So it was hard. So yeah, so that's basically what I was having the entire time was, and oh, for dinner I was just doing like sauteed broccolini and pre-seasoned tofu, or pre-seasoned edamame with the broccolini or rapini, the broccoli rabe. Those are basically mainly, I think it did asparagus ones, and maybe just regular broccoli ones, but I love broccolini. I could eat it every day. So so those are the main things I was eating. I will attach some photos of the pre-packaged stuff that I was buying just to make it easier on myself, because I knew that if everything had to be cooked or everything had to be prepared ahead of time, I know myself and my personality, I just would have ended up eating something I shouldn't have, or eating more of something else that was packaged more than what I was allowed to eat. So my boiled eggs, I just bought the packs of boiled eggs that you can get from Costco. They are a 2-pack. They come in, I can't remember how many are in the entire box that you buy. I'll go ahead and attach a photo so that you can see like what it looks like. But it has packs of 2 boiled eggs connected to each other, and then there's like 12 packs or something like that in the box. So it was very helpful to have that. So I would just open one one boiled egg, put the other one back in, keep it in the package, and put it in a Ziploc bag. And I just use that same Ziploc bag as I cycled through like single eggs throughout the time, and just put salt and pepper on those eggs and ate them. And then with the tofu, I bought the tossables, I think is what they're called. I'll add a photo as well, of that for the tofu, and it's already pre-seasoned and marinated tofu cubes, firm tofu cubes. So I was able to just rip that packet open, pour it into the skillet with the broccolini, and add very little seasoning. I didn't need much additional seasoning for the broccolini, because the tossables are already seasoned, and that actually tasted wonderful. Now I couldn't have the whole, like I would cook like one packet. I was buying the Pedro Farms broccolini, or is it Pedro or Pero Farms? I'll add a picture of that too. Broccolini, so that it was, I knew exactly how many ounces of broccolini I was getting without having to weigh everything. And so making one packet of that broccolini with the tossables was 2 separate meals. So, because they were both over the amount of ounces of vegetables that I was supposed to be having. So I would make that whole thing, and then that would be 2 different dinners. And then I would make it like a different flavor of the tossables with the rapini, or with the asparagus and things like that. That's something that I always ate anyway, so it was helpful for it to be something familiar, you know. And I very much look forward to being able to eat things like that again. But I know that vegetables like that are, without steaming them or making them super soft, are pretty far into returning to the normal diet. So that won't be something I'll be able to have until close to a month or 2 after the surgery. But anyway, so that's pretty much what my meals were looking like for the post-op diet. And, you know, I drank a lot of water during that time to try to fill my stomach. I had to keep myself busy. I made sure I had a family coming into town. My sister came into town for the surgery. So I did a lot of cleaning and organizing, and just detail cleaning and really detail organizing, and taking care of my plants, and just doing whatever I could, you know, grooming my dog, doing whatever I needed to do to keep myself busy. I worked as many hours as I was allowed to work during that time, even though I was hungry and grumpy and tired from having so few calories. But it helped to take my mind off of, you know, not being able to eat. It was very hard. I think during that time, I also had purchased some sugar-free Jell-O, and I was having that as well, making sure it wasn't red sugar-free Jell-O. I think I was doing like orange sugar-free Jell-O at that time. So anyway, you know, that video a little bit earlier showed some of the things that really helped me through that time for that, and those I actually utilize all of those post-op as well. But you know, I just want to warn those who are getting ready for this, at least for me, you know, it's harder than it looks. So prepare yourself, you know, set yourself up for success, get things out if you have the ability. I'm a single person, so I was able to get everything out of the house that I wasn't allowed to eat. I didn't have other people to feed. I don't know how people do this when you're making meals for your family, but you guys are strong and you've been able to do that. So, you know, it's not impossible, but just prepare yourself for how little it is. I had so many relatives or friends and family who were asking me about the pre-op diet when I was telling them, like, this is really hard. And they asked me, you know, exactly what it is that I'm able to have. And they were shocked that it was so hard, because it seems like it's a reasonable amount of food. And they're like, oh, I eat like that, or that's kind of what I do already. And I'm like, have you ever used a scale and weighed your food before? Because hearing that you could have 2 ounces of vegetables and 2 ounces of protein, and seeing what that looks like, is 2 very different things. So if you normally just eat what you consider a reasonable amount of protein and vegetables for your meals, then no, it's not the same thing. So I had to keep reminding them that unless you've ever used a scale and weighed out your food to see how much that is, then don't tell me that that's how you normally eat, because you'd be a very, very small person. But also, I didn't want to encourage people to to be eating like that, you know? So I realized after a while I had to stop sharing what I was eating, because it seemed to be encouraging people to want to try it, because after, you know, when I was almost at surgery day, I had lost 14 pounds on the pre-op diet. And that was a lot. So I had a lot of people being like, ooh, 14 pounds, what's the diet? Let me try it so that I can lose, you know, a couple pounds for this event that I have coming up. But this isn't a diet to specifically to lose weight. This is a medical preoperative diet. And it's meant to shrink your liver and the fat around your stomach to get you ready for surgery. This isn't a healthy diet that someone should just be doing just because. And so I wasn't sharing the details with people because I don't want someone trying it. I don't know what the health implications are of trying to do something like this. And, you know, and even if you were able to do this and you lost a lot of weight, you're going to gain it back as soon as you start eating again. So that just starts like a yo-yo dieting kind of cycle, which those of us who are, you know, on this journey know exactly what that's like. So do be careful with sharing your weight loss and what you're eating during the pre-op diet, because if you have any people in your life who have disordered eating already, or body image or food issues, it's not the healthiest thing to hear, you know, that you easily lost 14 pounds or lost 10 pounds or whatever you lost doing this diet, because it's going to make them want to try. And like I said, I haven't done any research on how healthy it is to do this for a long period of time when you're not getting ready for surgery. For all I know, it might be okay. I mean, it seems very similar to the Slim Fast diet back in the day for those of us who are old enough to remember that. But, you know, it was like a shake for breakfast, a shake for lunch, and a sensible dinner. Like, and you were able to have like Slim Fast bars. So that's what they told you to do. But it was only supposed to be, I think, for 2 or 3 weeks, or even a week. You know, I think it was very short term, just to lose a few pounds. It wasn't meant to be something that you sustain. So yeah, that's what it was like for me. But I'll make my next video as soon as possible. I know this one went out a little bit late, about the actual surgery day, like the morning of, the night before, and the things that I had to take and drink the night before and the morning of, and the few days after surgery. All right, well, it's so great to talk to you all again. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for joining me on this journey. Bye.